All right, welcome to Real Issues Podcast. I am your host, Martel Llewellyn, and today we have a YouTube legend. She's a
Well,
former bodybuilder and a soon-to-be nurse. Her name is Kayleigh Noelle. Now, how are you doing today?
good. How are you?
Good. So before we begin, just let the people know who you are, what's your YouTube channel about, and what you do on social media.
Well, what you just said was a little bit not exactly who I am,
Mm-hmm.
but like close,
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing YouTube for the past like 10, 12 years. I started it literally right when YouTube came out and there was like no influencers. And after that, I did get into bodybuilding a little bit here and there. I wasn't actually in a show, but I prepped like I was in one. um, but yeah, I'm 32 and I live in Florida now. But before that, I lived in Maryland all my life, born and raised. What was the other question? I can't remember.
Okay, so then we'll just jump right in. What do you
This jump
currently
right
do?
in.
Yeah, what do you currently do?
Okay, so right now I'm in nursing school. And this is an accelerated program that I'm in, which is pretty crazy because I get my BSN license in less than a year.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll have my BSN degree, the RN license, and I'll be just sent out there to the hospitals to do my thing. And it's just crazy that in 1 year, they think that I'm going to be ready for this. But I mean, I think I will be. I'm a really fast learner. And so far I've been doing really well in school, thankfully.
That's good.
But yeah, so I'm currently in nursing school.
All right. So then you said that you started YouTube around 10 to 11 years ago. So let's say around 2011. What made you want to start your YouTube channel?
Okay, so at the time, well, I still do have very, very curly hair naturally. And at the time, the only influencers that I really saw in the beauty realm were people like Michelle Phan. And she was just doing makeup and trying to like figure out different ways to make you feel confident with makeup. I wanted to make people feel confident with their hair. And I didn't see anybody who had curly hair at the time doing videos. So that's literally what I started doing was tutorials on how to make your curly hair look nice. And it just blew off. It really did. Like it just took off and I didn't do anything special. I really didn't. It was just the fact that no one had did it yet is why it really ended up taking off. And then from there, I just kind of started doing my own thing, like incorporating makeup in there, incorporating fitness, incorporating vlogs. Like I really expanded on what I built it from. But initially it was the hair.
Now, what do you think that separates you from the same YouTubers who also do like makeup and fitness? Like, what do you think that separates you from them?
Honestly, I feel like you just have to, I know it's like cliche, everyone always says this, but you really just have to be yourself because people are following you, yes, for good tips, of course, but at the end of the day, they don't exactly care what you're doing. They just want to see you, and because you're making the choice to film this and you're making the choice to show them this, they think it matters because you think it matters, So it's not necessarily like doing anything in particular that makes me different. It's just the fact that I'm me and they're them and we're different people. And people love to see different personalities, different things going on, new stuff all the time. So yeah, everyone's just always looking for someone new to follow and be motivated by. And yeah, so just be yourself.
Okay, and then how did you transfer the YouTube to the Instagram? Because I know that sometimes people have trouble like transferring all the followers over. So how did you also grow that on your Instagram as well?
Okay, I feel like I did a poor job of that because actually what I wish I had did was started all of these social media accounts kind of right when I started YouTube.
Okay.
I started them way too late. I was thinking like, they're not going to get big. Like YouTube is it. YouTube is the only thing. I'm just going to focus on YouTube. When in reality, like all my friends that were also influencers at the time, they jumped on the bandwagon early with the Twitter and the Instagram and all of that. And because of that, they were able to build their following along with the YouTube following. So I do, in hindsight, wish I had did that, but I started kind of late. and I didn't jump on that bandwagon when I should have. But yeah, now since everything's so saturated, what I would do is just try your best to like cross promote, like even for you with this podcast, to make like little short clips that you could also put on TikTok of like, you know, motivational things that certain people are saying in your podcast, just like little quick clips. And then the TikTok will bring them to your Instagram, will bring them to your YouTube. You know, you just have to like keep promoting your own self in the description, in the video itself. Hey, make sure to follow me. Like you've been doing a good job with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Because that's
yeah.
the thing. Like I feel like everything is just so overly saturated. Everybody's on every single social media with everything that they have. Like, you know, like whether it's like a website, clothing, everyone's on everything. So it's almost kind of hard to diversify people, and it's kind of hard because technically everyone's doing the same thing. But I'm glad
Right.
that you were able to kind of start early. And I feel like if you started YouTube back then, you're actually miles ahead of everyone else, because I feel like, let's say there was like 500 YouTubers back then compared to now, there's like 50 million YouTubers now,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
But I think about that sometimes, like, what if I didn't start back then? What if I started now? Would I have the same success? To be
Hard.
honest, I would not.
It's
I would
hard.
not.
It's hard.
And so, yeah, the reason why I feel like I had the success is because I was the first one to do something on a platform that had just launched. Um, and I was being myself. I wasn't trying to copy anyone else. I was just doing my own thing, you know?
Yeah, and like you were actually vlogging and doing all those videos because you wanted to. I feel like there's a lot more people now doing it now because they want to get paid.
Okay, so let me talk about this for a little bit. That's the reason why I started to get into nursing, because I wanted to have my own career, something aside from YouTube that I could have as a source of income that I knew I would love to do. Because YouTube was starting to become a way that I had to pay bills, to live off of. And because of that, I was trying to take in more deals with companies. Like it just became a source of money instead of doing what I just genuinely love to do. Like I would start sitting down to film because I had to eat, I have to live. And I didn't like that. I wanted to film because I just genuinely wanted to film that day for whatever reason and show my fans like this stuff. But it started turning into something that I didn't want it to. And that's when I realized, okay, I need to find another area to make money and just have YouTube be what I love, which is genuinely how it started, was just doing something that I love to do.
Okay.
But
And then for girls who are getting into makeup, what would you say that are some starter brands for them so that they don't have to break their bank account?
okay, so I would really recommend drugstore brands. Like if I was to show you my makeup bag right now, I'd say about like 80% of it is like cheaper drugstore brands. Like Maybelline's one of my favorites. I also love Elf. I love NYX. And that's because I love saving money too. And I think that's another reason why girls love to watch me, is because I use those products and I make them look like the way a higher end product would look. Like you would have no idea that my face is $10 versus $200. Like there's ways to use the product to make it look more expensive. And yeah, so definitely would recommend Elf, Maybelline, NYX. Those are like my top for drugstore brands.
Okay, and then so for some quick fashion tips, nothing crazy, maybe like one or two things for men and women. Like what do you think, like what do you see today that you can say, you know what, maybe you might not look the way that you want, but if you maybe do A or B, it can change your complete look.
Okay, so I do this weird thing where it's like a 5 to 6 item. Like I try to stay within 5 to 6 items. That way I'm not just literally going out with like a dress and shoes. Like that's boring. I try to spice it up. So I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna wear a dress and shoes, what else can I wear? I'm gonna do a necklace. I'm gonna do sunglasses. I'm gonna do a jacket. And there you go. There's my 5 items. And now you just all of a sudden look like more put together, and it gives your outfit more character. So I try to do that just to, yeah, spice it up a little bit. What's another good one? Oh, the fit of stuff. I feel like a lot of people will try to buy clothes because it's a certain size. Like I'm going to buy small because I want to be small. But then actually when you put the small on, it does not fit you right. And then you start to feel uncomfortable and you don't feel confident in yourself anymore. So you have to like disregard the sizing sometimes and just get what genuinely fits you. Don't think about the size. If it fits you and it looks good on you, go with it. That's something I've learned.
Sounds good. So then you used to be a bodybuilder. What are some tips for people who are starting to work out? Or let's say that maybe they're new to the gym and they really don't know what they should do. You know, maybe they're kind of uncomfortable when they're in the gym. So how did you start out working out, and what are some tips for people who are beginning to work out?
So I built a gym in my basement because I have anxiety when I get around a lot of people. I've worked out with you before and my boyfriend, and the gyms we go to, just having all those people around me, it really makes me nervous, to be honest. Like, I'm never going to say it, but in real life, I'm freaking out on the inside. It's like a social anxiety thing. And I know a lot of other people have that too. So what I did was I built a gym in my basement when I very first started with stuff that I found on Craigslist. I would contact people for like an elliptical, for example, and they would just give it to me for free because they simply wanted it out of their house or they were moving. And I built a gym for like less than $1,000, like a full, I had literally all the equipment. I'll have to show you next time I see you, but it was awesome. And because of that, I was able to build my body over like the last decade. I don't live in that house anymore, but that's honestly what I would recommend to do if like, I guess if you're willing to pay for that. But also, you know, there's a lot of good home workouts nowadays, like home workout programs. I even sell one as well, if any of you are interested. And it's a great way to like start to just like film yourself doing those home workouts and make sure that you have the right form. Like looking in a mirror is one thing, but if you actually film yourself from different angles, you'll be able to spot if you're doing something wrong. And if you can get down the form at home, then when you go to the gym to do it, you can increase your weight and you'll know for sure that you're doing it right. So you won't be embarrassed, you know?
Okay. And then what do you think about the fitness industry today, and what would you change?
I do think there's some misconceptions. The one that I dislike the most is when people are like, do this to spot reduce here, or do this to spot reduce here. I'm like, you can't do that. Like genetically, as you lose weight, your body is you're going to lose fat everywhere. Like you can't choose. And honestly, the last place that it'll go is your stomach. You'll lose on your limbs first, stomach last. That's just how it is. And I hate when people are like, if you do this, you'll lose your muffin top. Like you can't spot reduce like that. Not one exercise is going to make you lose your muffin top. Like it's a compound. Like there's a lot of things that go into losing your muffin top, you know?
And then not to make girls feel, you know, kind of awkward at the gym, but do you think that guys should approach girls at the gym? And if they should, how should they go about it?
I saw that question when you sent it to me. I thought it was really funny.
No, because like sometimes it's like you want to say something nice, but then you don't want to come off as like creepy or weird, or like, you know, like you just want to make it somewhat comfortable for both people.
To be honest, like for me, anytime a guy comes up to me, it already is awkward for me because I'm not expecting it at all.
Yeah.
But I will say, as long as you are respectful, then I think you're fine. Like you have to be aware of a girl's body language. You can tell pretty much right off the bat if they don't want to talk to you. Like there's certain things. Are they leaning into you when you're talking to them? Or are they trying to lean away? Are they trying to walk away? Are they taking their earbuds out to listen to you? Or are they keeping them in? You know, like look at their body language. They look like they want to talk to you right now or not. And just be respectful of that, you know?
Got you. And then now that you're going into nursing school, what are some tips for some people who are beginning the same journey that you are on? And what are some things that you learned about yourself through this journey?
Okay, so I always thought like I was smart, I guess, like, you know, I didn't think I was this smart though. Like I didn't think I could actually get the grades that I'm getting while taking 6 classes. I was thinking I was going to be like a B student. I didn't think A's were even possible for me, but it's happening. And honestly, I'm really proud of myself. I didn't think that I could do that. So yeah, I'm learning a lot about myself, how far I can actually go with certain things, how much I can push myself. And then as for people who are like trying to get into it, what I would recommend is to figure out, first of all, which school you want to go to, and then they'll list for you every single prerequisite class that you have to take. I took them at a local community college because it's cheaper. And I made sure to get all of those out of the way because I actually had a Bachelor of Arts. It was graphic design degree from University of Maryland, and that has nothing to do with nursing. So I had to take a lot of prerequisite classes in like sciences and yeah, so I had a lot to do. And then after that, I had to study for a TEAS exam, which is a combination of English, math, science, and reading. And you have to score high on that. And I think that was it. And then you just submit your applications, and if the schools want you, they want you.
Okay.
I got lucky.
No, I mean, trust me, like I know that it's like really not easy. There's a lot of people that they always stress about their grades, stress about all their clinicals. And to think, you know, one day you're going to have to save someone's life potentially.
I know in a year, I'm going to be saving people's lives. It's just crazy to me.
There's a lot on your shoulders.
I think it just takes time. You know, I'll get experience, and there are residency programs. Like I am going to be working at a hospital, but I'm under someone, kind of like FTO for you guys, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that. So at least they can help me a little bit before I'm actually on my own.
Yes, absolutely. Now for you two, will you start any merch? I feel like you have a decent following, or no, actually no, more than decent following to where you could start merch. Would you actually?
Okay.
Now,
So I actually did. I did in the past when my channel was really, really going far. I actually had a second channel as well that I privated for personal reasons, but they were both just blowing up fast. And I did have a merch line. I was actually making the clothes in my basement by myself. I bought a printer and I bought all the templates, and I would literally print each shirt myself, and it would say what our workout program was at the time, and I would sell them, and people were buying them, and it was really cool to see that because I didn't think they would, but they did. And so nowadays, if I did want to do it again, I would not do it myself because that was like way too much work, having to ship everything and print all the orders myself. I would, I guess, find someone that could do all that for me. And
no, you know who can help you. We won't say his name, but you know exactly who can help you.
Yeah.
And I've told him that. I've told him, I said, listen, like I know that you want to, make a little side hustle, do the merch.
Yeah.
No,
I really could. Honestly, it's just I guess I haven't thought about it because I'm in nursing school, but maybe when I get out, it would be something interesting that I could do again, because it did work. It was successful. And a lot of YouTubers, that's the golden thing right there, is you being an influencer. Yes, of course, that's a great way to make money. But if you're able to sell a product and be an influencer, you're making bank. Oh, absolutely. That's where it's at.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap this up, what are your short-term goals, and what are your long-term goals?
Short-term goals is I really want to finish nursing school. I like that is my biggest thing right now, and that's why I haven't uploaded as much as I usually do, because I just focus all of my time and energy and mental capability on that. Once I get out of nursing school, long-term goals is I would like to become a CRNA, a nurse anesthetist. There's a lot of nurses in my family, and my stepmom actually is a nurse anesthetist. My doctor is an my dad is an anesthesiologist, and my mom is an anesthesiologist. So there's a lot of medical people in the family that can help me out. But that is the long-term goal. I'd also like to upload more videos on YouTube. I'd also like to one day get married and have kids and have a house.
Absolutely. So you will be bringing the vlogs back, correct?
Yes, definitely. I actually filmed one yesterday, and I will be uploading it over the weekend. And I think the summer semester of school is going to be a lot, not as challenging as the last one. The last semester I had 1 clinical, 5 classes. This time I'm going to have 3 clinicals, 3 classes. So it's a little bit like easier for me because the classes are the hardest part. Like I'll go into the hospital all day. I don't care. That's not hard for me. It's the classes that are really hard for me.
Yeah. It's like the studying and all the book work, and
And actually going to the lectures, because my school is a little far from me too. So it's like that added time to drive there and back. And then the lecture itself is like 3 hours each class. So yeah, it gets a lot.
All right. And then I'm sure that you felt like you wanted to quit maybe through nursing school, or you didn't get the grades that you wanted to, or maybe in the beginning of your YouTube career, you probably didn't see the views that you wanted to get. So for people who are just starting out with anything, and since it's also the mental health like awareness month, what would you say from your journey over life and through your nursing journey as well? How come you didn't quit? And can you give some advice to people to encourage them not to quit wherever they are in life?
I think everyone, especially for influencers, wants to quit at some point. Like there were some days where I would just be getting ready. It takes me like an hour, or before, it would take me like an hour to get ready just to put my makeup on and hair to film a 5-minute video. And I'd be sitting there getting ready, just like, this is not, I don't want to do this right now. You're not always in the mood to do things like that. You know, that's what's hard, is to get yourself in the mood to do it, you know? And sometimes you're just not. That's all there is to it. It's more about being dedicated to what you're doing and just staying consistent with it. You're not always going to like it. You're not always going to want to do it. But you being dedicated and consistent, your viewers will see that. And when I got the most amount of views is when I uploaded consistently, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I told them, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to be there and you better be there too. And they were.
Yeah.
They really were.
Yeah.
Like my views were amazing. And that's the key. Like, yeah, some days you're not going to want to do it, but oh, well, you do it anyways. And in the end, it really does pay off.
Okay. And then what did it make you quit when you might not have gotten the grades that you wanted?
For school, I did have a few breakdowns already. I'm not going to lie, but
what kept you going?
Yeah, I would say just because I already got this far, just thinking about everything that I have gone through to be here right now, I will literally think back to like the first day that I wanted to go into nursing school and what did I do to get to this point now? And I would be so motivated by myself, just thinking of everything that I just did to get from point A to point B, that I'd be like, you know what? I got this. I'm gonna stop crying now. Like I worked so hard to get here. Why am I crying? Like I can do this, you know? I'd like motivated myself with myself.
Absolutely. And then before we wrap it up, can you also just plug all your social medias, plug your workout plans, anything that you got?
Yeah, so if you would like a workout plan, you can email me KayleighNPrince@gmail.com. And then my YouTube is Kayleigh Noelle. My Instagram is switched around, Noelle Kayleigh. And that's really all that I have for right now. I do have a Facebook, but I don't really post on there. So we'll just stick with those.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Once again, please follow her on all of her social media platforms. Also, please like, share, comment, subscribe. And thank you for joining the Real Issues podcast. Once again, my name is Martel Llewellyn, and this is Kayleigh Noelle. Thank you so much for joining us today. Like, share, comment, subscribe, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.